Sorry about that. My voice recording was running out, so I had to start a new one here. So we'll continue on. We were discussing the reward systems and compensation in a team, and I'm going to talk about the specific rewards that we're going to be looking at. As I was saying, I believe a multifunctional team with members from across the business with diverse skills. So our team's success is vital to the implementation of the new system. Our goal is to define those cultures, beliefs, and values and enhance the morale, job satisfaction, and create buy-in for the company's success. And if successful, the team would be rewarded appropriately. I believe in our instance that because we don't know exactly what the financial situation with the company is, that I would utilize the gain sharing reward. So when productivity exceeds the baseline, then the savings are shared with the employees. So we are counting on our productivity to exceed with this new evaluation system, which would decrease labor costs. It's a good financial reward goal for the team to work towards, and it'll motivate everyone towards that success. And then also having some sort of a company-wide recognition event, possibly with like catering, some sort of a picnic or something at the company where we can express our appreciation for a job well done of having this team create this new system that we're going to implement. So, and again, this will motivate others to strive for success and productivity, leading to commitment and loyalty as well. Next, we're going to talk about team effectiveness, and members of effective teams are usually open, honest, supportive, and trusting. There's a lot of cooperation and collaboration happening. Decisions are being reached through a consensus. There's open communication channels. Things are well developed, and there's a commitment to the team's goals. Additional good team characteristics would include making fact-based decisions, dividing up responsibilities among the members, listening to everybody's contributions, and considering conflict actually an effective way to develop some criticism, constructive criticism, and have some alternate problem-solving methods gained through some conflict. So not all conflict is bad. It can be good if it's effective in helping us come up with some new ideas. And a diversified group of employees with different experience, background, ages, cultures, customs, and racial ethnicity is necessary for team effectiveness. Again, this brings all sorts of different aspects to the team, ideas to the team, ways of going about things. And also that helps us with knowing what all the employees within the company are looking for in this new plan that we're coming up with. And again, our team includes 6 multifunctional members from a cross-section of the business. So we have traditional members so that management is included, and then we are focused on problem solving, so it's short term, and in creating this new evaluation system. There are some 5 stages that teams progress through as they develop, and those are the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning stages. In the forming stage, the members are looking at defining the goals, the roles, getting directions and information, finding out what they're supposed to be doing, sharing their skills and knowledge and interest and abilities, their backgrounds. It's kind of a, get to know one another type phase. In the storming phase, that's where members are starting to share a little bit more, and they're looking at, what they might want to do within this project. So they might be saying things like, hey, I want to do that because I've got this skill that matches that need. So they might be, kind of competing for some different responsibilities within the team. They could be working together. They might be working independently. The project managers are basically facilitating and coaching, making sure everybody's effectively listening, respecting others, contributing. This is also where the team starts to make some decisions. Then in the norming stage, things are kind of progressing along. Members are starting to trust one another, and they're respectful. They're working together. They're helping each other out for the greater good of the team, not just for themselves. and project managers are more encouraging and motivating at this stage. They're starting to step back a little as the team progresses. In the performing stage, this is kind of basically the end. Everything's going along. Everybody's performing at a high level. There's very little interaction with the project manager at this point. They are just there as to kind of monitor the progress and be there if there's any issues that would arise. And then the adjourning stage, that's when the job is done. Everybody dissolves because everything is done, and you complete some documentation on how the whole team function together and what works and what doesn't for future reference. We use the stages of team development in building our performance evaluation system. Team, because the team's going to learn about the project and set goals while being effective as a team and on their own. So members are going to seek guidance and input from everybody or others within the team. The project manager is going to monitor them, but allow them to utilize their knowledge, their skills, their abilities, their decision making, their innovative ideas that they come up with. And the project manager will need to assess the situation, diagnose any problems, and take corrective action for a team to be effective as they're moving along. This could be things like social loafing, where members are distracted, they're looking at their phones, they're not paying attention to what's going on in a meeting. There may be personality conflicts, so a leader or manager might have to step in and try to figure out what's going on so that the conflicts are not exacerbating and becoming really huge issues within the team. And then if there's any additional training needed, they are there to provide that or find that information. And then this also forces accountability, motivation, and reemphasizing of the team goals. And if somebody is not performing, then it might mean dismissal as well. And if they need to, in this phase 2, for the team to be effective, if they need to redo something, this is a good time for that to happen, which would be like emphasizing those team goals. If something needs to change, they can do that during the stages. And then by establishing the goals, roles, and deadlines, then accountability occurs. The team will have trust, they'll be open, they'll be collaborative, they become effective, and a strong leader helps build this type of a team and helps set those clear expectations and helps manage the change. It's also important in a team to be, communicating on a high level. We want to remember the golden rule of do unto others as you'd have done to you. So we want to make sure that you're acting or reacting in a group setting appropriately. If there is any conflict going on, it has to be handled immediately so it doesn't fester and become out of hand. If there's two members that don't get along, meeting with each one of them and trying to find out what the main issue is or what is the root of the problem, and then probably having them come together and meet, as a group to see if you can remedy the issue. And then making sure that as a leader, you have an open door policy so people can ask questions, not just during meetings. You're providing, transparency, building your trust and clarity with members. You also want to encourage two-way feedback. So detailed and constructive feedback increases team communication. So talking with people verbally and then following that up with something written or a quick memo or email to make information clear so everybody's on the same page. You also want to clarify roles and responsibilities so it's not confusing for people so they know what they need to be doing. Team spirit is actually forming informal social type meetings or some sort of team building outings, going out and volunteering or just having a casual Friday so that members are feeling comfortable, they can talk and be in an informal setting versus being strictly stuck in these meetings all the time. And you can also plan some strategic coffee breaks during the day or weekly or whatever. So informal places for people to get together and kind of get to know one another and create that sense of belonging to the team so they all work effectively together. And again, if if there is some communication lacking, then some effective training or team building type leadership classes would be helpful for people as well. And then for having appropriate communication forms, whether it be a verbal or face-to-face in an email or a memo or a letter, or possibly having web-based cloud sharing, so that if something needs to be told to the whole team and it's not one of your meeting days, it can be accessed by everybody, or if something changes, everybody has the chance to look at that through some sort of web-based cloud sharing. Some things that you don't want to do in communicating with employees is putting or with people on your team is not to put your interest ahead of the team's interest. You want to respect others' experience, others' cultural, educational, and religious backgrounds, so that you are being open to what they are feeling. It doesn't mean that you might agree with whatever they're talking about, but that you do understand and that they have that opportunity to share that. Also, you want to make sure that you're not only communicating by email all the time. You do want to make sure that you're talking to people face to face, so that the meaning and tone of what's going on doesn't get lost. And stressing importance to listening to those different perspectives and being respectful of other people's ideas is important. You don't want to say, I'm not going to do that because I don't believe in that. You have to be respectful. And then it's good to focus on the issues at hand instead of somebody's bad attitude. So with cooperation being your main goal, you want to try to search for resolutions that everybody can accept. And again, if there is an issue with leadership or other members, try to meet with them and find out what's going on before that communication breaks down. In developing team intelligence, we want to utilize the task-focused mental model to develop a new evaluation performance system. And this involves dividing work effectively and accordingly to skill levels of each member. Remembering that people have different conflict managing styles that vary with the situation and who's involved and what's important. So somebody that's more convicted in what they believe in might be more vested in a decision-making process versus somebody who is not, they don't have as much of an interest in whatever that decision is. And team success is based on how individuals interact with each other and their contributions versus who's on the team. So it doesn't really matter who's on the team, it just matters how they interact and that they can get along and value others' opinions. Trust, safety, and respect are what members consider important. You want to have open and honest communication coupled with ambitious goals and motivation to help teams reach their fulfillment. And companies need to make sure that the manager is set up for success as well. They may need some special training to guide them and help them grow with the team and learn how to lead a team. And this proper preparation helps leaders set expectations for their team. Measurable objectives and feedback. Feedback keeps the team on track to meet their goals, and there can be consequences if the expectations are not met. So we want to make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, when it's due, and then providing them feedback. Hey, great job. You know what? That's not quite what I was thinking. Maybe we could look at this type of situation again. And then team weakness. A strong leader can recognize weaknesses within a team and address that need and coach them within the moment training to correct whatever might be going on.